Wow, we just got done with Ironman, and there was some madness out there. We had everything. We had rules, we had bike failures, we had heat stroke, you name it, we had it at Ironman. And we can no longer say Hunter Lawrence has the most moto wins without an overall. He didn't get a moto win, but he was your overall winner. These guys are going to be sore after today. I recommend a little Nano-Xtreme for those aches and pains, especially Chase, man. He's going to be banged up after having that wheel lock up. Head over to Nano-Xtreme, use code Cooksey, and get free shipping. If you want some help with your training program and you're either a working vet class rider or a young amateur trying to figure out how to do it, I'm telling you, reach out to Coach at CompleteRacingSolutions.com. He has programs to fit everybody. They're not a one-size-fits-all. He does a specific program based on your biology. Hit up Coach over there at Complete Racing Solutions. AJ writes crypto and VeChain. I think there's one, maybe two more days to enter, but I want a mob member to win the $42,000. Get over there, get your entries in. Last time I checked, there was about 15,000 entries to win the $42,000 truck. That's some pretty damn good odds. And as many people as watch these videos, come on, man, one of you guys needs to win that $42,000. So get over there, get entered, and win yourself a Tesla, $42,000 or $1,500 in crypto and a bunch of other stuff. So get over there and win some stuff.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
So Hunter Lawrence, Jet's brother, finally got to be on the top step of the podium. It wasn't the way you draw it up, but when you get second and win as many motos as he has, the fact that he hasn't already got an overall win is crazy. And I never would have predicted it this way. You know, Jet got the penalty, Chase's bike broke, Eli's sick. But hey, you take wins when you can get them. And when you put yourself in second and third place every single week, sooner or later, you're going to get lucky. You could call it luck, but he has earned it. As much as I dislike him as an unpleasant person, he has earned this, and he's a bad dude on a dirt bike. Congratulations, Hunter. You are no longer the rider with the most moto wins without an overall. You now have an overall win to your resume. And I know some of you detractors are going to say, well, Jet went 3-1. He should have actually had the overall. It was a complete gift. No, not so quick. That rule is designed to jump the start. Back in the day, guys would wheelie up, case it, and go over the gate, and you could get yourself a big advantage by jumping the gate. I've done it many times, but in my day, I raced in the Wild West Series, so what I would do is, I knew I didn't have the cardio to go the whole race because I worked all week, so I would time the gate, I would pop a little wheelie, and if the gate dropped, perfect, I'd ripped a giant hole shot, and if it didn't, then I would just hit my frame right on there and bounce right over the gate, and they usually stopped it, and the penalty for me was they would turn me around backwards. That wasn't much of a penalty for me. I got so good at starting backwards, I would stand off the side of the bike, flip it around. I think at one race in Idaho, I actually beat a couple guys to the first turn by starting backwards. That's how good I got at flipping it around. It's not a good skill to be. It's not something you should probably work on. If you have the cardio to go the full race, you shouldn't have to do stuff like that. I did, but that was towards the end, right before I went to college. When I was doing stuff like that, I realized this isn't going to happen for me. But that's why the rule is so stiff. Guys used to do it all the time. Ron Lachine, Larry Ward, they would jump the gate. And the only way to really deter them from taking a shot at it was to make a severe penalty, a one-lap penalty. So it essentially disqualified you. And yes, they have not updated the rule book, and that's still in there. But I don't think what Jet did fit what they built the rule for. That was a mistake. Jet hit the gate. Jet didn't intentionally try jumping the gate. But once you flip that gate over backwards like Jet did, you have to stop and just wait, let everyone go, and then take off, or you're getting a penalty, no doubt about it. But what I thought was, I didn't think the penalty fit the crime. Had he tried to jump the gate, then you give him a one-lap penalty. What he did was more of a mistake. It wasn't necessarily with the intent of that rule. So for them to say they went by the letter of the rule, I call BS. They call that thing a guideline book anyway. They always change rules on the fly. I don't think it was fair that they did that to him. What they should have done, because he did come across that line ahead of everybody else, but it was not a significant advantage. You dock him just like he went off the track. You give him a 2-position penalty, so then he goes from 3rd to 5th. And the way I would sell that on the AMA guy, I said, listen, this was not a gate jump. Yes, the rule reads that way, but we all know what that was. And the guys that created that rule, we're talking about Ron Lachine, Larry Ward, the guys that would go over the gate and try and cheat the start. I don't think Jet had any intention of cheating the start. That was a mistake. So he should have only got a 2-position penalty, which still leaves Hunter Lawrence as your overall winner. And that's why I say, don't try and take it from him. Jet went 3-1, but in my mind, he went more like 5-1. And now this is me speculating. Now I wonder, so the Coombs family, they've been doing some weird stuff trying to sell tickets for Budds Creek. Now they don't own Budds Creek, but they own the rights to that national. They kick back the Beasley family a certain amount of money, but all the profits from ticket sales goes to the Coombs family. Right now, it looks as though both championships will be wrapped up before they get to Budds Creek. Maybe ticket sales are slow. Is that why they put out the fake news about Hayden Deegan riding a 450? Something's going on. Did they do that so Jet has to clinch it at their race? I don't know, man. It's a bit fishy, and I don't know. Because they could change stuff anytime they want. Kerry Coombs overruled a disqualification at Loretta Lynn, so they have the power to step in and make changes anytime they want. MX Sports indirectly runs the AMA. It's not the other way around. The AMA doesn't come in and have the final say. MX Sports can always override them. If you work for the AMA and you do something the Coombs don't like, trust me, you're probably not going to be at the AMA much longer. The AMA officials understand if Davey or Kerry come in and say, no, it has to be done this way, then it gets done that way. But he deserved a penalty, no doubt. As soon as I saw it happen, when I saw him come across the line ahead of the other riders that first 6 inches, I went, he's going to get a penalty. I didn't think it was going to be a lap. I really didn't think it was deserving of that. But either way, still, Hunter Lawrence won the race, and as much as I dislike this guy, and he is so unpleasant, I don't know what his deal is with Katie Osborne. He is flat out rude to her on the podium. I almost wonder if she said something that pissed him off, if he doesn't like her. I don't know what the deal is with Katie Osborne, but man, I really wish Hunter would be a little bit nicer to her. It's very, very awkward. She's so gun-shy when she's asking him questions now. She's like, is that okay, Mr. Hunter? The part where luck comes into play is Chase Sexton. Chase had him beat. He tipped over, Chase passes him, he's in line for the overall, and the front wheel locks up. I don't care what James Stewart says. I love James Stewart, and I love him as an announcer. And I also love that he goes with what he thinks. He thinks the front wheel was caused because of the crash. I don't think so. I think that front wheel locked up on the face of that jump. I think Chase felt that, and that's why he grabbed some throttle, and it just looked completely awkward. I 100% respect James Stewart for going with what he thought. That's all I ask of the announcers. You have a certain amount of, knowledge that you've done this thing for a long time, and you pick a side, you tell us what you really think. And I truly believe that he thinks that the damage was caused because of the crash. I don't agree with him, but I love that he stuck with it. With that said, James, you're wrong. That thing broke on the face of that jump, and that's where it locked up, because when he landed, he didn't even hit on the brake side, and Chase was pissed. This guy's had some issues with KTM that have almost cost him his health. He had that throttle stick in Supercross, and now he's got a front wheel lock up on the face of a jump. He cannot be happy. He has got to be just waiting until he can get off of Team KTM and just hand that bike over to Eli and be like, dude, good luck. I hope you survive. The things that happen on this team they're not good. You can't have front wheels locking up on jumps. You can't have throttle sticking. Both things that have happened to Chase Sexton since he's joined KTM. And Eli Tomac, that was a very un-Eli Tomac performance. He got 2 hole shots and just faded back. He never makes excuses, but he's dealing with some sort of an illness, and that's the problem with these long series. Even if you get 2 weeks off, you get sick and you do not have a time to recover. You go out there and that heat wrecked guys who are healthy. You go out there not completely healthy, it's damn near impossible to survive. I think he did a great job by salvaging what he did, but that's not the real Eli Tomac. He was clearly sick and ailing. It is not in his character to fall back the way he did. So if you want to say Hunter got lucky that Chase's bike broke and Eli came in sick, no problem. But he beat Jet because Jet made a mistake, and that's part of racing. Like I said, Jet should have gone 5-1, but Hunter still wins your overall. If you need to ship anything, hit up Precision Transport, a family-owned shipping company. Hit up pretransport.com, and they will get you dialed in. Alias MX, they got their 25.5 gear. You better hurry or it's going to sell out quick. So head over to Alias MX and get your new gear. Ride Strapped, check out the new Ride Strapped shirt. They did one. Thank you to the gentleman who held up the sign. This is a tribute to you. So there's a new shirt that has the Cooksey Media sign. So head over to Ride Strapped if you want to get one of these or one of the other shirts. How about RJ Hampshire? He is a feel-good story in this sport. Like I said, if you want to show your kids how to fight and how to work through adversity, just show them RJ Hampshire. This dude goes out there. He had surgery right before the season. He moved up to the 450 class, and he has a second place overall in his first season in the 450 class. I really wish he could have got this opportunity a little earlier in his career, but RJ doesn't care, and he makes no excuses. He's going to go out there and fight for every inch of it. And he's going to put himself in situations where when people have issues, he's there to capitalize. And that's exactly what RJ Hampshire did. He's given away enough podiums. He deserves to get one back. So RJ Hampshire, great job. And seeing his little daughter carrying that giant trophy just warmed my heart. Like, that's one of the good guys in this sport, RJ Hampshire. Justin Cooper, man, this guy's good, but he doesn't have that dog in him like RJ does. When it's hot, when it's nasty, when it's rutted, he doesn't have quite what RJ has, but he might have a little bit more skill and talent, and that's why he usually, when he's having a good day, he can get up there and battle for the podiums, but when he has adversity, he doesn't seem to be able to dig like RJ does. But with everything that went on, he still ended up 4th overall. Good job, J. Coop. And Jorge Prado was up in the mix, showing signs that he's Jorge and not George Prado. I did have to laugh at his interview after the race. Katie Osborne asked him, what did you and the team do over the break to get better? He's like, I rode Supercross. Like, he didn't care. Like, he was checked out. And don't think for one second Kawasaki hasn't noticed that. And I wasn't going to announce this until it was announced by Pro Circuit. They have signed Marchbanks, and since we said it on the broadcast, I feel like I can go ahead and share that news now. So yes, Pro Circuit Kawasaki has signed Marchbanks for next year. It's a 1-year deal, so Pro Circuit Kawasaki is now full. But what's strange about Marchbanks' deal is this is the first time and the only contract that Mitch has had of one of his riders where Kawasaki is allowed to pull him to the 450 anytime they want. And what this tells me is they don't believe in Jorge Prado. They're not sure if this guy's going to pull the plug and go back to Europe. They are not comfortable with that. So they wanted to get Marchbanks and make sure they have a backup rider if this dude decides to pull the plug, because it is not good between Jorge Prado and Kawasaki and the bike complaints. There's a lot of hurt feelings. With 2 more years on that deal, it's going to be a long 2 years, or he's going to quit and they're going to put Marchbanks on there. And I think they'd be better off with Marchbanks on that bike. He is so good, but he's a bigger guy. He needs to be on that 450. I'm sure hoping, no, I don't want anything bad to happen to Prado. I'd actually prefer he get back to his championship and his winning ways and be what we thought he was going to be. But if he's not, and he's just going to ride around in 5th place and complain, put Marchbanks on the bike. And Dylan Ferrandis, who's been gone all summer, and there were hints that he was going to retire, and then he signs with Ducati for next year. But he's racing these last couple outdoors to get ready for SMX and just show he's still there. He looked inspired. He looked like a guy who's rested up. He rode really hard out there. He got himself a 7th place on a nasty, gnarly track. And one of the hardest things to do in this sport is jump into a series when everybody else has been racing. Yes, it can be an advantage because you come in rested, but there's this pace and this intensity. They go, the gate drops everyone talks about. That's a real thing, and it's hard to jump in the middle of a series and be competitive, but I think Dylan Ferrandis did a really good job today. Thank you, members. I appreciate everything. One of you guys is going to win a $250 gift certificate to Complete Racing Solutions. And in December, somebody's going to win the new Powersports XQi3 electric motorcycle. So thank you, guys. Here's your member of the day.
Let's start this off by saying, we got them. The illegal sale of American motorcycle racing. I present a case that reveals how the American Motorcyclist Association's 2008 sale of its racing properties constituted an illegal transfer of public trust into private hands. My name's B. Maisie, and I'm here to stir shit up. So I made a song for you guys. It's crazy that the riders still gotta pay to race, even though these guys are just filling their pockets because they're money hungry, greedy, stupid mother, ex-circus owners, but still got the same mindset for the Supercross. Screw Feld, screw the AMA, and screw Rob Dingman.